Hi everyone and welcome back to Rachel's Enchanting Cakes. For this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a cartoon cake. These are trending at the moment, they are very easy to make and all I have used is two simple cutters, one for the number 1 and one for the text on the drum. Therefore very basic limited equipment is used, so if you're comfortable covering a cake with fondant, this is the cake for you. As always, I guide you through everything in a simple step-by-step format, and there's plenty more new tutorials coming this year. Happy baking everyone, and let's make a start. Bake and level a cake of your choice. This is a 6-inch round cake and this is my classic Victoria sponge recipe, which you can also find in the delicious recipes section. Place your cake on some baking paper and fill with a filling of your choice. Little tip, if you want to add jam, simply just create a well on the outside, add the jam to the centre and then just allow it to set for a short period of time in the fridge before you add your second layer. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just filling mine with buttercream. All you need to do now is add your final layer of cake and then completely cover this with the rest of your buttercream. This process is called crumb coating and it's simply to give your fondant something to stick to. Roll out exactly 600 grams of white fondant in between 5mm spaces. This is for a 6-inch round 4-inch deep cake, trying to keep this in a circular shape. Carefully drape your fondant over your cake, negotiating the pleats from the top to the bottom. Take your time doing this, and then all you need to do using a very sharp knife is simply cut away any excess and smooth it out with some cake smoothers. Top tip, place an indentation directly into the centre of the freshly covered cake. You can then store this in the fridge without fear of the cake bubbling. This hole will simply help any trapped air release naturally as the cake settles. We now need to make a fondant drip stencil. Start by using the base of this 6-inch tin so you get a rough idea where you need to draw. You then want to simply draw around this in a drip-like shape. Just imagine it's on top of the cake. Finally, using some fine scissors, simply cut out your baking paper template. It really is as simple and as easy as that with no cutters required. I then roll out the colour of my choice. This is fondant, however, it's a high quality fondant. So it's very easy for me to cut down and to keep its shape. An alternative for this would be to use modelling paste. I try to keep it in that circular shape and I need to keep on checking that my template fits first. But when I say thin, we're talking a few millimetres thick, no more, maximum 3. So you want it a lovely thin piece of round fondant. Using some Trex vegetable fat, I simply glue the baking paper directly to the fondant. This is to prevent it from moving. It will not affect the fondant in any way, but I need to do this in order to be able to cut it out. Using a very sharp crafts knife, start cutting away your fondant or modelling paste. Be careful to not accidentally cut away any of the baking paper, but do not remove the baking paper once you have finished cutting this. If anything I have learned in cake decorating, when you're doing something like this by hand, by leaving the baking paper on, it can actually help you transfer it to the cake. So remember, do not remove the baking paper. So this cake has come directly out of the fridge. I then simply cover the top with a small amount of edible glue. You can also use cooled down boiled water and lift up the baking paper, which helps keep everything in shape before peeling it away. Once I have peeled it away, you then simply want to negotiate all of those drips down the sides of the cake, get it as even as possible, and now we can start to turn it into our cartoon styled cake. cake. Super easy and so much fun. This bit is super easy, but it just makes your cake pop, literally. So again, add some edible glue, and then all we are using is simple sausage shapes. Now, if you have a sugar extruder gun, you'll be able to get those sausage shapes completely identical for the whole of the cake. If not, don't worry, you can roll them out individually. I am just using fondant, I'm not using modelling paste. And I literally just take my time placing it bang on the outer edge of each of the drips. So simple, but so effective. Once all of the drips have been covered, we then repeat that process, but this time for the base of the cake. Remember, this has been drawn, and then I simply cut off the excess at the back. Now, to really make this pop out, we need to add the lines. Imagine it's a drawing on either side of the cake. So look at it directly from the front so you get them in the perfect place, and simply add a sausage shape on the left and one on the right, just cutting off at the rim as you can see me do here. I then repeat that process on the top, but I use separate pieces and leave gaps in between because I'm treating this like a drawing. All you want to do then is add the odd occasional sausage shape just around the drips. My cake's back in the fridge, and now I'm making the fondant accents. Here I'm using a patchwork cutter for the number 1. I find it best to cut out 2 of these, and then we're going to glue them together. I just add some edible glue, a cocktail stick to support it into the cake, and then place the other number 1 directly on top. This is fondant and will be left overnight to set. Then, just like with what we did on the cake, I firstly go around the number with a black sausage shape. I've already applied edible glue, and then I also add a few more of these sausage shapes directly on top. The cherries and cream are super easy to make. Simply take 2 small bowls of white fondant and glue them directly on top of each other. Directly on top of this, simply glue a small ball of white fondant. Okay, so this is what brings it to life. So again, with the sausage shapes, we start with the base. Again, just using a small amount of edible glue and your crafts knife. Then where both of the white balls meet, you want another sausage shape. Directly underneath your red cherry, another sausage shape. And then finally, just over the top of the cherry, so it's facing the part that will be facing the front of the cake, one final sausage shape just before you add the little stalk directly on top. Okay, so this cake has come directly out of the fridge. This will help prevent you from damaging it. It will sweat slightly. You will have time to reposition it, and I place it on a decorated cake drum. All of my fondant accents have been left overnight to set. If it's humid, it may take a little bit longer, but then the secret is to position it so all of your lines are facing the front perfectly, just so it literally looks like the cake has been drawn. It is as simple and as easy as that. Happy baking, everyone. I really do hope I've helped you again today. Thank you all for your amazing support, and I'll be back soon with an awful lot more new, completely free content.